In this video, we are going to see how to use Spring-ORM. For this, let's first create a Maven project. As you know, for this, we are going to use a quickstart module. Then we are going to give the group ID and the form.my package and the artifact ID, that will be my project name. Like I'm going to give a simple project name Spring-ORM and then click on finish. It will take few seconds as you already know how to create a Maven project. Then you have to type a Y small, that too in small. The project is built successfully. Then go and let's check the project structure. Here is the project, and then open your POM file. In this file we need to add dependencies. So go to your Chrome, type Maven repository. Then click on the first site. Here you will get all the dependent jars or repositories. Then search Spring Core basic dependency. This will have all the beans. I am going to use 5.3 version jar of Spring because it is stable. Spring Core. This is the first dependency. Like this, you have to add more dependencies. The second one will be Spring Context. I have to add the Spring Context. Dependency. Make sure the version of both the jars are same. Copy and paste the dependencies inside the POM file. Now let's add the third dependency. These will be the important dependencies. Like we have to add Hibernate jar for using ORM. So first I will add the MySQL connector, as I'm going to connect Spring with my SQL database. So this is my MySQL connector jar. Just click and copy and paste it. If you are using Oracle, so you have to use Oracle jar or dependency. Okay, let's save this. It will be loaded. Now let's add Hibernate. So I'm going to just go and type Hibernate because I'm going to use the 5 version Hibernate, so that we will get the Java X package, not the Jakarta. So I'm going to use Hibernate 5.6 Maven. Okay, let me just scroll and copy this 5.06 final and paste it inside my POM file. So this is my Hibernate core. Save it. Okay, here are my jars, POM file, and then let me just close it. Go to your main Spring-ORM, right click, new. I'm going to create a class. Product. This will be my module class or entity class. Finish. Now let's create our fields. Private int. I will have an ID for my product, and I will also have the product name and the product price. Let's add the getters and setters. Go to source, generate getters and setters. ToString method. Save your product and let me just add a notation on top of this class, that is the entity. Okay, here we have to import entity Jakarta Java x.persistent, which is provided by a Hibernate. So click it. It's an entity which specifies this might be a table. We are not going to create table. The table will be created automatically when we use ORM. Then if I want my table name should be unique, not the product. By default the table name will be product, but here I am going to use my own table name, like @table name is equals to, this will be, here will be my table name. I am going to use product detail, like this will have my all product details like ID, name and price, that's why. And let's import the table. Okay, this is my table, this will be my table name, this is my class name, and then I am going to have an ID notation. This will give a primary key for my table ID. We can also change the column. We can have a column name as well. Like column, we can use the notation column, and inside that we can give the name of a column. If we don't specify this though, then my column name will be name by default. I'm just specifying to give you an example. This is my ID name, and there is a table name. Let's format and then save. This is my entity that shows this is my product, is my table. Okay, then save. Now let's go and see how ORM or Hibernate works, as we have seen in JDBC template tutorial. Here first of all we have to create an entity class. Like I am having my product class, product.java class. This is an entity class or model class. Entity class are those classes whose tables are created inside the database. Now second, we can have an interface like product DAO in which all the methods are there. But here I am directly going to use the product DAO impl, which will have all the necessary methods that are needed. So here I am using product DAO impl.java. This is a class. This class will implement all the methods. This is a class. So next, product DAO impl will have all the methods. Like I am going to show you how to create a product. Update a product, get all the products, get product by ID, and also delete. Okay, to perform all the functions, our DAO class requires a bean of HibernateTemplate class. This will provide all the necessary functions for adding, retrieving, updating and deleting HibernateTemplate bean. Our product DAO impl requires the bean of HibernateTemplate, which is a class. Okay, now Hibernate template also requires a bean. That bean is a session factory interface. Hibernate template requires a bean of session factory interface. We know that we cannot create object of an interface. Session factory interface. We also know that we cannot create object of an interface. So session factory bean, session factory requires a bean of another class. So we are going to use local session factory bean. Hibernate template requires a bean of session factory, and session factory's bean is provided by local session factory because it is a class and implements session factory interface. Local session factory is a class that implements session factory, and indirectly local session factory bean is given to your Hibernate template. As you can see in the PPT, product.impl requires Hibernate bean, Hibernate template requires session factory bean, and session factory is an interface, so we cannot create bean or object of interface. So local session factory is used for giving the bean to Hibernate because local session factory implements session factory interface. The next configuration we will see in the next part. Thank you.